Hi everyone, Leanne here from Jaded Blossom, and it is day 2 of our March release for 2021. Hey everyone, I am using a bunch of stuff today. Spring dies 2, rainbow dies, these spring dies 2, heart dies, bow dies, flower dies, and scalloped rectangle dies and stitched rectangle dies, all from Jaded Blossom. And I'm also using the new Easter Wishes stamp set. I just don't have the cover art to share with you, but I'll do a release video later on in the week. So I went ahead and I stamped these beautiful, beautiful images onto cardstock. That pink is Paper Tray Inks Lovely Lady cardstock, cut at 4.25 by 11, scored at 5.5 for a vertical fold A2 size card. And then I used a scalloped rectangle die on Doodlebug's Hoppy Easter 6-inch pad. And I'm using my ATG gun to layer these all up and keep them nice and flat for the mail. So yeah, I'm just going to show you the 2 pads I used. So Simply Spring and Hoppy Easter. So there we are. So then I went ahead and I cut the bunny from the spring dies from Jaded Blossom out of white paper tray cardstock. And I'm going to pop up this little bunny centered on my sentiment. I love these new sentiments from Easter Wishes. They are beautiful. I also use the bow dies here, and that's a little bow from the same Hoppy Easter pad. There we go. So these are simple, very, very simple cards to mass produce. So now I'm pulling out the shape sprinkles called jellies, and I'm going to add a little bit of shape sprinkles beside my little bunny there. And I'm keeping these, like I said, really clean and simple. There is some, layering and, dimension, but otherwise these are so easy, and you could crank out a bunch of these to hand out over the Easter holiday. So I made 6 of these today in varying patterns. So now this is purple. This is Winter Wisteria from Paper Tray Ink, and the same thing. Cut an A2 size vertical fold card. Oh, sorry, I'm actually doing a horizontal. That is 5.5 by 8.5, scored at 4.25. So you have a horizontal A2 size card. And then I'm adding the same layers as I did on my other card, but horizontally. So isn't that cute? I love these beautiful greetings stamp set called Easter Wishes. It's gorgeous. You need this in your life. It doesn't matter if you do cutesy cards or just really pretty, glam cards. You need it in your life. So that is a heart from the same Hoppy Easter stamp set. And I'm going to pop up the white bunnies. These are from Paper Tray Ink again. In the center of this heart. I'm going to have them facing each other. And like I said, I'm trying to keep this nice and simple. I'm using Stampin' Up! Dimensionals there to pop up this second bunny. And I will have all the images colored and used on, for the rest of the week. But today I decided to do something, really simple and quick. For those of you that don't want to color and you just want to create something, you can do that. There we are. And there's a little bow again from that same Hoppy Easter stamp set. I'm just going to add it on the bunny, and isn't that cute? I'm going to add 3 hearts from the enamel, what's it called? Sorry guys, enamel sprinkles and the rainbow hearts. I'm just going to add 3, kind of straddling that heart. Isn't that cute? So now I'm going ahead and I'm doing the same thing. It's another horizontal A2 size card. Stop the presses, everybody. It's a miracle. So that is Lemon Tart Paper Tray Ink cardstock, and that's the same thing. 5.5 inches by 8.5 inches, scored at 4.25. So that's a horizontal card. I'm using the exact same dies all over again. I pre-stamped the sentiment. That one's called Happy Spring. I used VersaFine Onyx Black ink for that. I always use that for my sentiments. And that's an matching odds and ends image from their it's from Simply Spring. So's that pattern paper. Sorry, guys. So the pattern paper is also from Simply Spring, and the odds and ends is a Simply Spring odds and ends from Doodlebug. Now that beautiful butterfly is cut out of the Lemon Tart Paper Tray Ink cardstock again. And I basically just glued those two gorgeous dies from Jaded Blossom together. Those are the butterfly dies from, I think, the spring die set. And I'm just layering them up there. And I was trying to clamp them on with my reverse tweezers, but I ended up using an acrylic block and setting it aside, letting it dry, because I only glued the center. I'm going to move that off, and I'll start on the next card for now. So this cardstock is called Summer Sunshine from Paper Tray Ink, and this is the 4.25 by 11 inches, scored at 5.5 again for a vertical fold card. And I'm just going to add the same exact layers. This is from Hoppy Easter. So I've got a theme going. So it's Hoppy Easter on the Easter cards and Simply Spring on the spring cards. So that's what I'm doing. And there we are, layering my stitched rectangle with the pre-stamped sentiment. And I've cut out some eggs from the spring dies from Jaded Blossom. And I'm just adding them to the background of my card base with my Simon Says Stamp Craft Tacky Glue. So easy peasy stuff. And I'm going to add this adorable little bunny rabbit. I'm going to have him kind of hopping past the eggs. I'm going to pop them up using Stampin' Up! Dimensionals. And that is from the Odds and Ends line from Doodlebug, Hoppy Easter again. And I'm just going to pop that up. So for those of you that do not want to color and you just want to use dies and stamp some sentiments, this is the kind of card set for you. Easy, easy, easy stuff. And I think they still pack a punch because they're really colorful and, graphic, I think. And they're not too busy. So, they kind of draw the eye. So I quite like that. So now I'm going to add a few more of those enamel shapes jellies, or enamel sprinkles, sorry, from Jaded Blossom called jellies. I'm just going to add a few, in the different colors. I'm going to tuck one underneath. There we go. And what's funny is I really don't like jelly beans. If it's not chocolate, I don't want to eat it. Let's be honest. Okay, there we are. So now I'm going to pop up the wings of that butterfly. So I'm just adding the Stampin' Up! Dimensionals underneath the wings. And I kind of just want to give my butterfly some dimension. So basically that's what I've done with all of these cards. I try to give my main front image dimension on top of what's going on in the background. So I just love this lemon tart cardstock. It's so pretty. And along with those beautiful sentiments from Jaded Blossom, you can do whatever you want with these. They're so pretty. I actually kind of thought of going a little bit religious on some of them, but I decided I didn't want to alienate anybody. So I decided to, stick to the bunnies this time. There we go. Isn't that pretty? I love, love, love this set. So now I'm using Nouveau Crystal Drops, my favorite, in Simply White. And I'm going to add some centers to some of the flowers. And just quickly some centers. And then I'll add some dots down the center of the butterfly, to give it a head, and a few little dots down the body, just for some interest. And, like I said, easy peasy stuff. But I think they pack a punch. Like you can really get a nice graphic look. It's beautiful. Kids could make these. And look at this. I screw up and I left it in the video so you could see. It's like, darn it. Nope, I'm not going to put Nouveau Crystal Drops on the back. So I scrape it up and I'm putting on some enamel sprinkles or shape sprinkles from Doodlebug, the Rainbow Heart set. And I'm going to put 3 straddling this image in a matching color. Nice thing about Doodlebug is most of their products cross-match pretty much everything. So now I've got a piece of cardstock from Paper Tray Ink in Spring Rain, guys. And that's 4.25 by 11 inches, scored at 5.5 for an A2 size cardigan. And I've got my scalloped pattern paper. This one's from Simply Spring from Doodlebug. And I noticed that, my card wasn't completely cut square, so I just trimmed off the edge. There's my beautiful stamped sentiment. This is gorgeous. April showers bring May flowers. I was going to use Doodlebug's gorgeous new stencil, but I thought, I think other people from the design team are probably going to use it today. So I decided to go a different way. So I'm using the gorgeous, these are my favorite clouds. They're from Jaded Blossom's rainbow dies, and they're cut out of white paper tray ink cardstock. I just love them. They're so pretty. So I'm going to add 3 of them to this card, but I'm using that umbrella. The umbrella is actually from Simply Spring's Odds and Ends set. And I just thought it was so pretty and bright. So I'm going to pop that up as kind of like the main image on my card base. And you know, you could have done some blending with the gorgeous new stencil, but I decided to go this way. So I'm going to pop on this last, I'm trying to decide, is it going to go on top or is it going to go underneath? I decided to keep it pretty flat, so I go underneath. So I'm going to slide that underneath, and then I will cut off the hangover. I'll cut off the overhang of that cloud, so it'll fit in an A2 size card. And now I'm going to use Studio Katia's Raindrops. And I'm going to stick them down with glossy accents. It's a nice, you know, solid glue. And it's also clear. So, you know, even though some other glues dry clear, they kind of dry matte. And I kind of want it to look a little shiny under there. So that's why I decided to use the glossy accents. And I'm using the Studio Katia embellishment wand to pick them up, because it's kind of fuss-farty to pick those up. They're kind of slippery and, you know. And I've got them kind of, you know, when it rains sideways and it gets under your umbrella. That's what I was going for. It's kind of raining on an angle. You know, the kind of rain where you're like, darn it, you're soaked by the time you get anywhere. That's what I was going for. Which isn't as pretty as this card. Normally it's dreary when that's happening and you're just trying to get home. But that's what I was going for here. So there we go. So a nice simple little card layout. And now on to the next card. This paper is from Paper Tray Ink again. This is Green Parakeet. And the same thing, 4.25 by 11, scored at 5.5 for an A2 size card base. Same thing, pre-stamped my sentiment on the rectangle, stitch rectangle die, cut out of the same paper. The other paper is from Simply Spring Doodlebug again, cut out with the scalloped. And these flowers are all cut out of these flower dies from Jaded Blossom, and also the leaf. So those are all pattern papers from the exact same paper line, the Simply Spring, except for the leaf. Obviously, it's the same color as the card base, that green parakeet. So I'm just sort of making a little arrangement of flowers. And then I've got an adorable little Tweety bird that I'm going to pop up in the center, and that is from Doodlebug's Odds and Ends again for Simply Spring. So I just thought it was so cute. I love these little chubby little birds. They just look adorable. So now I'm going to add some centers. These are the Love Assortments. They're called Sprinkles, the Love Assortment from Doodlebug. And, you know, like I said, all other colors match. So, you know, you can mix and match your product lines, and usually you're pretty good with Doodlebug. So I'm just going to add a bunch of centers here. And how cute is that? I think it turned out so cute. Now I'm going to add a few more little drips of Doodlebugs of Nouveau Crystal drops in Simply White, just to add, you know, a little bit of texture, a little bit of interest. Remember, these are really simple cards. So sometimes it's nice to, you know, zhuzh them up a little bit with a little bit of, you know, bling or dots or something, right? But anyway, that is it. Thank you so much for stopping by and visiting with me today. Be sure to stop by the Jaded Blossom blog and see what everyone else comes up with. You know, they always knock it out of the park. And be sure to come back tomorrow, because we've got some more awesome products to share and some more projects to share on YouTube too. Thanks, everybody. We'll see you soon. Bye-bye.